some frenemies. That's what I'm looking for. We'll be friends for a while. We'll be enemies for a while. But at the end, the green flag's in the air, and boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing at 200 miles an hour, boys and girls!
Still building. Two long freight trains of cars. Ambrose had a look to the outside, then Gilliland into that yellow car. The field still pretty well formed up as they go into three.
We're starting to see a lot of three wide at the back of the pack, and actually starting to see three wide at the front of the pack.
Kevin Harvick was in the middle, and then the top lane came down to join him, led by Brian Scott in the 33. Paul Menard from Wisconsin started second, comes around to lead the first lap.
It's all right. That 31 car get hung on the outside, but it looks like he's gathered a few friends up there in that high line now.
I'll give you more here to say, I just got to get my breath. The first few laps to me are always so breathtaking. And I mean, look at this. And these cars are snaking around. And I know that the driver sometimes doesn't even have total control of the car. The turbulence, the air turbulence, the cars moving, buffing off of each other. The driver does everything he can to hold a steady line, but
now we've got three full lanes with Joey Logano way up on the high side, and that yellow and red Ford trying to overhaul. Menard, who leads in the middle lane, is led by Brian Scott, who qualified on the pole, and at 33, Scott not eligible for Sprint Cup points. He's full-time in NASCAR's second tier, the Nationwide Series.
Right with Kevin Harvick there, he saw that outside line coming, and he's driving that 4 car. He jumped to the outside to get in front of that line.
And Mike, you have to be gentle on the wheel. You can't snatch the wheel. You can't jerk the wheel. You got to be gentle with the wheel.
Whoa, big move from Menard. He comes from bottom to top, rides the elevator up into the turn 3 banking to try to block the top lane. Now comes down, picks up the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Will he come all the way to the bottom and pick up 47 Allmendinger? He does.
Yeah, as long as they're side by side behind him like that, he's in pretty good shape. Doesn't have to really worry too much, but he's working the line. He's working the line. It's got the push.
On the outside, Harvick and Carl Edwards. The inside line, Menard with Allmendinger.
A lot of times, Mike, I think that's how you can tell how equal these cars are. The reason the inside line is faster, it's shorter. If the cars are fairly equal like they are, then the longer way around, you're going to lose a little bit of time when you get up on the outside.
On the inside, that'll be Menard, Allmendinger, the 3 of Austin Dillon, who was the Daytona pole sitter, and Danica Patrick.
Now, what they all don't have is the same horsepower. There's that variance there, and that can make a difference.
I think Austin Dillon in that 3, he saw that top line was making a move, and he jumped up in front of Kevin Harvick in that 4, going through 3 and 4. So does Paul Menard now in the 27. It's almost like the line moves as depending on what drivers are in what line.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, a lot of it has to do with horsepower. Cars are pretty equal otherwise.
Here comes Harvick up the middle. Danica Patrick leads the inside lane, staying even with Harvick, her teammate.
This is one place where everybody will work with Danica. They trust her on this super speedway. She's really good with the restrictor plate car.
Oh, by the way, she has a fast race car, too.
Doesn't hurt anything.
Paul Menard out front led 29 laps in the Daytona 500. Second most to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who led the most laps.
Here she comes.
Menard from Allmendinger and Dillon on the top lane. The last time car number 3 raced here in the Sprint Car Series, it was Dale Earnhardt driving to victory in the fall of 2000.
I mean, we've got 25 drivers right now running within a second of each other, 3 lanes wide.
Jeff Gordon giving some help to Patrick on the inside. And it's still 3 full lanes of racing. Right right at 200 miles an hour. Patrick to the lead, but Menard has that big, high, wide radius to turn 4 in the trial. But here she comes. Danica Patrick's going to lead a lap at Talladega.
And I think the crowd led that lap.
There have been 3 women that have raced here. Janet Guthrie back in the 70s and Patty Maurice in 1989, and now Danica. And the best finish by any of them have been by Janet Guthrie. She finished 32nd here once.
A chance that could change today. On the inside, Patrick, Jeff Gordon, Brad Keselowski, and Matt Kenseth. That's a potent group on the inside as you watch Danica Patrick at work. I bet her 1 million followers are lighting up Twitter right now.
I know she's got to be enjoying this. I mean, the struggle she's had this year, they've been many. To be able to lead this field around this big place, quite a thrill. I know what it feels like.
Gordon looked to the middle. Patrick came up to cover the spot. He's not going to let go of that lead without a fight.
Danica's pretty savvy on these super speedways. Daytona and Talladega. She's got a real sense of where the car needs to be, where the air is, how to side draft. She's the total package when it comes to restrictor plate racing.
Now she comes down to pick up Keselowski. And Larry, this is what you talked about in pre-race. When there's nothing out your windshield but the racetrack, you can't drive into somebody else's trouble.
And the spotter in your ear. And what she saw, and I'm sure her spotter told her, the inside line was moving, led by Brad Keselowski in that white number 2 car, and that's why she moved down to the bottom.
Jeff Gordon comes down to pick up a little side draft on Patrick. Who'll lead this lap? Give it to Gordon. Gordon got it. With Carl Edwards in tow. Jeff Gordon leading after 9 green flag laps. Hold your breath. They're still 3 wide in Talladega.